Prince Fielder Ian Kinsler, as evidenced by the montage you just witnessed, set to join us here as we begin hour number 2. You told me a great story about Prince Fielder and you standing on first base. You remember that story?
Well, I felt like I played against Prince every day from 2007, 2008, playing in the NL Central. Cubs, Brewers, it was like they were coming into their own with Prince and J.J. Hardy and Ricky Weeks and all those guys, Corey Hart. They were getting good, you know. And I remember being on first base, and you had today. Anybody can mock up cleats.
Signature shoe.
You can look like a superstar when you're really not in today's game.
Yeah.
We had to earn the right to get like a special made cleat, which I never.
We had to make the All-Star game.
Exactly.
Can I get the ones Barry Larkin has? Like, yeah, when you get to the All-Star game, what are we doing? Didn't I sign with Nike?
Mikey Young, who was my boy, he had all the beautiful special made cleats. So he would give them to me because the Cubs and Rangers, they would match. And I just cut the tongue off so you didn't know it said number 10. I'd be like, these are my special made. You know, like, and Prince looks down. Prince looks down. He goes, there ain't no way Nike made those.
Well, we are pleased to be joined by Prince Fielder and Ian Kinsler. Two things. Remember, back in the day, these guys were traded for one another, but they're going to be reunited of sorts during All-Star Week in Arlington. Both have been named to the All-Star Futures Game coaching staff, so they will be in the opposite dugouts, and we're pleased to be joined by former big leaguers Prince Fielder and Ian Kinsler. Prince, let me start with you. Do you remember that story Dero told you? Just told us?
Yeah, but I was just, I think I was just, I was just in my feelings because, I was a Reebok, and I asked Reebok, can I get a blue on my cleats? And they're like, no. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, I can't get blue? And I was like, wait, you got the 50 tags? Yeah, I was just in my feelings. It wasn't personal.
He looked at me with disgust. He's like, I'm dropping 50. You're hitting 7th. How the heck do you get those?
Hey, Ian, real quick. You were a teammate with Mark DeRosa for 1 year back in 2006. What was Dero like as a teammate?
Exactly like this. It was laughter every day. We're just chopping it up, keeping the boys loose every day. That's D-Row.
I could sit and tell stories on these two guys. I got called into the office 2006 spring training, and Buck Showalter goes, you're going to battle Ian Kinsler, our #1 prospect for the second base starting job. I watched him take grounders and MVP the first day. I'm like, I'm not battling anything. I'm mentoring him as he becomes a star in the game.
Well, that brings me to let's pivot to that, because as I said, both of you guys are part of the coaching staff for the All-Star Futures Game during All-Star Week in Arlington. Ian, let me start with you, and then Prince, if you wouldn't mind following up. What does this mean to be a part of this game and be really on the ground floor of seeing the possibility of what the future of Major League Baseball is going to be like?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the future of the game is so highlighted now. So it's going to be a lot of fun to be a part of it. And I never got to be a part of the Futures Game as a player. So being able to see what it's like and seeing these young players step into a big league locker room and, for the first time and play in a huge stadium and, see their eyes kind of light up is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely.
We lose him right there.
Yeah, I think we lost Ian. Prince, Ian, are you back?
Did you lose me?
Yeah, we lost you.
It went to Bluetooth, didn't it?
Yeah.
It went to Bluetooth.
Yeah, if you wanted to wrap up your thought there, Ian, we lost you for a second.
I don't know where you lost me at, but I know that this future game is going to be fun. Watching these kids' eyes light up, stepping into a big stadium for the first time, and I never got to play in the game, so being a part of it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't know if you caught the whole message of the minor leagues and the prospects. These guys are so highlighted in the game today that you know a lot about them now. So it's going to be a lot of fun to be in the same dugout with them.
What about you, Prince?
Same here, man. Just being with all the great young talent. I just want to get around baseball, and especially AB asked me to do it. So, anytime he asks me to do something, I usually do it. So, just being around the younger guys is going to be a lot of fun.
Prince, I got a question for you because I think about the game nowadays and where it's at and the celebrations and all that stuff. And I go back I feel like you set the table, dude. It wasn't acceptable back then, but you hit that bomb and Milwaukee came by and the whole team just, laid down there. And we were all like, it's incredible, right? Here it is right here. You launch one and you have this celebration and it was incredible. And some people probably took offense to it back then. Nowadays in 2024, they're doing this nightly. What do you think of it? You think you were ahead of your time, brother?
Maybe a little bit. I think the whole team, because we all came up with that together. So I think, I added I stuffed the landing on my own. That was my own added to it. But everything else was all, we all thought about, we came together about it. So, I mean, it could have been anybody who did it. And we would have did the same thing, but I'm just, I'm glad it was me. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, Prince, awesome. I'm going to add on to that because that was in 2009. 2010, I signed with the Giants. We play you guys in spring training, and Barry Zito goes, I'm going to hit Prince. And I said, what are you talking about? He's like, because of that whole thing. And I'm like, wait, if he charges, I'm playing third, I'm going to get my tush beat in. And I have nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Do you remember spring? He poked you with 88 and it took us.
Yeah. I don't know if it was 88, but
85.
Ian, you're going to have obviously it's the All-Star Week is in Arlington, so definitely a Ranger theme. Michael Young, Adrian Beltre, they're serving as the two managers for this Futures game. What's it like to be a part of this event with a couple of former Rangers as well?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with Prince. If Mike Young called me and asked if I wanted to be on the coaching staff, and it was kind of a no-brainer. This is something that you do. And then it being in Arlington is obviously special for me. It's a different stadium, one that I never played in, but same fan base. So it's going to be a lot of fun getting in there and mixing it up.
What'd you guys pride yours? I think back, you guys are right in my pocket, my generation. When I think back about you guys were phenomenal players, but you both went to the post every day. Is that what you prided yourself on? In a game of today where everyone's trying to find their best version of themselves, I think the fact that you guys were out there every day is what kind of jumps off the table at me.
I don't know, Prince. You wanna take that? I mean, for me,
yeah, man. I just didn't. I didn't know any other way. I think that's just. My dad always said. Funny story, but my dad always wanted me to play every day. And I looked at his stats, you didn't play every day. So I was like, oh man. So for me, I just, whenever I didn't play, man, I just had a terrible feeling. I left the iron on. You know what I mean? So it's I just wanted to be out there every day, no matter what. I mean, obviously, if the manager, wanted me to give a day off, I'd try to fight it as much as I could. But, for the most part, I wanted to play every day just because I figured, what else do I have to do?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I just love playing baseball. So whatever it took to get on the field and play is where my mind was at. I mean, I wanted to get in the box and have an impact on the game somehow. And sitting in the dugout was, I felt like I was out of control. The game was out of my control, and I wanted to be on the field making an impact, and that was really it.
I mentioned, guys, going to break that you guys were traded for one another. What do you recall? And Prince, if you could start, and then Ian follow up. What do you recall about that day when you heard, Prince, that you were headed to Arlington, and Ian, of course, headed the other way?
We did a commercial together that just happened. So that's the first thing I thought of, oh, geez, it happened. But that was all I really thought about at first. Man, we did a commercial and it came true. So, right? Remember that?
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was the craziest thing. We did this commercial for fantasy baseball, ESPN, about getting traded for each other.
Wow.
And then 2 months later, we got traded for each other.
Oh my God. That's incredible.
That's a great story.
What about you guys as far as Kins, I think you're at your maybe son's game right now or something. And Prince, I know you got a couple sons that are bangers too. What about as dads, now raising your kids and this generation of kids coming up, what's the message you send to them?
Good,
yeah. For me, it's tuck your shirt in, man.
Hey, tell him your dad was a prison warden. Tell him.
He knows.
Hey, my dad's at every game, you know, so he's laying into him too. This kid's got a lot of pressure. No, but
oh man, I miss him.
Yeah. You know, for me, it's just play the game hard, man. Keep your head down. You know, there's a lot of flamboyancy in the game today with, you know, all the sliding mitts and the jewelry and all the things going on that these players are doing, and which is cool. It's fine. But just keep your head down and play hard because baseball can humble you very quickly. It's a very difficult game, and you're going to go through stretches where you feel like you can't do anything right. So, you know, if you're showing up another player on the other team over celebration, you got to be mindful of the other guys on the team because they might be going through a stretch where it's tough. And for me, that's probably my biggest message to my son is just make sure you stay humble and play hard.
Good player, Kens, your boy.
He's a good player.
Yeah,
but I'm his dad, so that's easy to say. You know?
Prince, what about you, Prince?
Same thing, man. I just tell the boys to play hard, and also, you know, them being my sons. You know, my dad played, so I get how, you know, they're expected to be a lot better than everybody else, or you know what I mean. So I get that, and I try to, you know, I just tell them just to work hard, man, because that's something you can't. It is what it is. It's like, you know, obviously it's a great thing to have your dad be a professional baseball player, but, you know, people look at you like you need to be AA ready at 18. So sometimes it is what it is, but I just tell them to work hard, man, and play hard and see what happens.
Well, the Futures game will be in Arlington during All-Star Week. Michael Young is one of the managers. Adrian Beltre is the other, and Ian Kinsler and Prince Fielder, part of the respective coaching staffs there for the Futures game. Gentlemen, great to catch up with you. I hope you enjoy All-Star Week and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Thank you, guys.
You got it.